Reynolds.
Here.
Motion to excuse Councilman Heben.
Second.
All those in favor of excusing Councilman Heben, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Is there a motion to approve the agenda for the June 30th, 2025 special council meeting?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor of approving the agenda for June the 30th, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Is there a motion to read ordinance 2025-44 by title only?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor of reading by title only, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? 2025-44 is an ordinance authorizing the administration to take the necessary steps to purchase a certain parcel of real estate and declaring an emergency. This is a second reading.
Does anybody on council have anything they'd like to say at this point? Or would you like to make a motion and then go to audience remarks?
I think it's important for us to take control of this piece of property and control who takes over for it. I do realize that it is a large investment, but that's the way I'm looking at it, as an investment in our city and us keeping control of it. So open to hear other words, but I can see a vision of what was going to go there. And this retail slash apartment condo idea that I've seen in other towns is really what I can see. Is there plans for it? No, but it's very rare that you'd have a shovel-ready plan in the time frame that we've had. So I just think it's important for us to control the property.
Allison has some potential renderings of what this could possibly look like.
This is mixed use in other areas. Some of these that you'll see is in the Columbus area as well as Cincinnati area. And these are mixed use with retail on the bottom with residential on the top.
Is there anyone else? Go ahead, Mrs. Eckel.
Yeah, those renderings are kind of what I was thinking, probably not quite as big, but I like the idea of mixed use. And I think it would just, if we could get it to continue down there towards the businesses that are already there, I think that would be really nice. I'm in favor of parking behind it, but just for the use of the building, not a specific parking lot. I don't think it's a good investment just for parking. I think some kind of actual development would be good in there.
I would agree. I don't want to buy it to make a parking lot.
Yeah.
If that's the plan, then I'm not in favor of that. But putting something like this, I agree, the size is probably too big for us. This is like a major city downtown. I'm thinking few retail locations, 1 or 2 stories. Very similar to that area downtown Toledo that has that large parking lot behind it. Everything else is right up front, it's retail,
Yeah.
and office slash condos, apartments above. I mean, I think that's great for what we're looking to do from a town standpoint.
I agree.
Is there anyone else? Mr. Oberdorf?
Yeah, thanks, Mayor. Out of my area of expertise, I went to a couple of old college friends of mine that one became very big in commercial real estate out in California. And I ran the idea of buying them, both of them concurred that it would be in the best interest, advantageous interest for Rossford to maintain the property ourselves so that we had control of direction of how it would be developed. And I had a chance to talk to some people. I had some feedback from some of the citizens, and more often than not, I got positive feelings about acquiring it than negative feelings. So I'm in favor of acquiring it, yes.
Okay. Brenna?
I've said this before, but I think that we would be the best stewards of that land. I think it's very important as we develop and all the great things that we've seen in our town happen, that we are intentional and strategic about the decisions that we make. And after listening to community input and listening to the experts, this seems like by far and above the best choice for us to make. And I think that everyone on council likely agrees that we value that community input and we will consider that as we move forward. And that is very important to us, but making this decision now is also important, and I think it's the right one.
Okay. Is there anyone else? Is there a motion?
Move suspension of the third reading.
Second?
Is there anyone in the audience who would have a problem with us passing this evening, or any questions in regards to it?
Colin Bryce Fraser, 815 Glenwood Road, Apartment 3. I'm the former supervisor of the Rite Aid. Thank you for answering my questions last week regarding what you were describing as hybrid. It looks interesting and so on. My biggest concern is in regarding with this. I agree. I think the city is going to be a better steward than most. With that said, when it comes to the actual business side of this on the bottoms right there, are we open to taking bids from outside companies? Reason being on this one is that as the former supervisor, people come into my work all the time telling me what they want, and what they really want is a fresh food market. Can one of those be set aside? That is something that a lot of people have complained about, that they have to, through my new job, pay for delivery services and so on. They want something that is going to be fresh food, something in there, even if it's just a small corner. And I would really appreciate if at some time in the future that could really be accentuated. That's pretty much what everybody else told me, but I do agree that the city is probably going to be a way better steward here than an actual company coming in. I was told that one of the companies was going to be in tonight. Unfortunately, they did not show up, so that's that. I trust you guys more. You know, you showed up. So I appreciate your time, and you have my support.
Thank you. Is there anyone else? Go ahead. Just please come up to the microphone and state your name and address for the record.
My name is Sandy Kuchar. I live at 116 Windsor. And I'm not here to argue. I just came to get some information.
Sure.
Concerning the roundabout and why you feel it's needed. And I want to learn something there.
Okay. Are you talking about the one down the street?
No, the
This one right
being
here?
proposed for right here at Eagle Point.
That would be an intersection improvement, and it would probably be a roundabout, but there's a lot of steps involved. First, we would have to get the funding, and then we would have to get design, and that design would have to be,
So we would have some help with funding?
yeah, and
Would it
that's,
fall out of Rossford?
Rex, or Allison, how, when and if that actually happens, how many years are we looking?
Well, it depends on funding. From my understanding, the Ohio Department of Transportation encourages funding.
Yes.
For reference, the Bergen Glenwood roundabout, we received about $1 million in outside
Oh,
funding.
that's
towards
encouraging.
it. Now, we do have to spend about $1.6 million of our city funds, but we did get almost 50% of the project funded at this point with an opportunity to get more. So
I see.
the project isn't starting for another year or so,
I just wondered how that worked.
yeah.
Yeah, we can keep you updated on that.
The mixed retail condo thing, that looks wonderful. And that building is aged.
I agree with you.
Thank you.
You'll get no argument from me. Is there anyone else?
Diane Wolf, 264 Jennings. Do we have a time frame in mind for when that would be developed rather than sitting there the way it is?
We do not. Just to give you some insight, I've been working on this since before the store actually closed because I knew it was coming. The first step is getting council's approval, and then, you know, everything else comes after that. Environmentals, design, costs.
So is the city planning on being the developer also?
No, what we would do is we would set it up for success, like in regards to utilities, ingress and egress. And the first step we would take is we would send it out to the development community, who I've already been speaking to, and ask not a request for proposal, but a request for qualifications. Then we would bring them in and interview them and see what their ideas and thoughts are.
So hearing between the words there are other entities that you've already been courting to come in
Yes.
and develop this.
Yes.
I guess my biggest concern is why is it that we, the public, found out about this game plan just hours before last meeting when you wanted to put it through as an emergency?
I don't know the exact timeline of when,
Well, if we've already had an extension, and that extension was set
I'm
to
sorry,
expire.
I know what you mean now. Actually, that was done by the Wood County Port Authority,
Okay,
and that extension is running out, and I feel that the Rossford City Council and the administration are pretty much on the same page that we want to get control of that site, set it up for success, and take it to the market.
so the former agreement was between the Port Authority and the sellers?
Yes.
Okay, okay, and you're just stepping in because the Port Authority doesn't have the funds to be
No,
in that situation?
no. We're stepping in because I think we can do a good job of setting that site up for success. The Port Authority was nice enough to take it down for us while we did some due diligence. And the other thing, too, I know transparency is a big thing, and we try to be that, but a lot of this is timing. Like, you can't share every thought and every idea
Agreed.
until it gets a little, get some legs underneath it. But it has something that I personally have been working on and looking into before the store actually closed.
So you or our council and administration as a whole?
No, myself and a couple members of the administration, and we kept council apprised in 3 executive session meetings.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
I just ask of all of you to please always consider what the community wants, because we did elect all of you, and we want you to be good stewards of our funds, whether they're TIF funds, tax funds, real estate, I hate to see us get into another, we're going to have an amphitheater and never have it kind of situation where we've invested a great deal of money and then never had a very long process before anything actually developed of it. That's my biggest concern, is don't jump into something that's going to be a pipe dream.
This will be very methodical, I promise you that.
So I love the images that you showed, but that's Columbus. Those are big cities.
No, I understand.
I picture it being something somewhere, I'm a Bowling Green girl, so Jimmy John's and
That's a perfect
Yes,
example.
that's a perfect.
Yeah.
like just a couple stories. We're not doing 3, 4 stories. We're not gonna,
That is precisely
Well,
my thought.
we're not going to design it tonight. We'll see what comes back
no, but what
from
I'm
the
saying
experts.
is, I think those were kind of unrealistic images, because they're not gonna fit in that space, and they're not gonna fit with the small town life that we have here. But I can see
That's
Visit-
inspiration, not ideal, because of the size, you're right.
Right.
But that's the inspiration of what
the
what we
vision,
think could fit
a smaller
there,
town version
but
of that.
Shrunk down.
Okay, all right, thank
All
you.
right, thank you. Is there anyone else?
Jenny Hill, 109 Homestead Drive, Rossford, Ohio. I'm just curious, when you said set up for success, Is the city going to then be on the hook for the environmentals, the surveys that need to be done and the demolition, or is that going to be put on to the developer?
That's part of the due diligence that we would do if tonight council told us to move forward.
So the 1.3 to buy and then the additional for demo and environmentals?
No, like I said, that's part of the due diligence that we would do if council gave us the approval to move forward. Like if we found out you couldn't do anything there because of environmentals or, it would just be too expensive to set it up for success, then we could walk away.
Okay.
Okay, anyone else? Is there a motion? Oh, we've already done the motion.
Yes. All those in favor of suspending with the third reading, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Move to declare an emergency?
Second.
All those in favor of declaring an emergency, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Move adoption?
Second.
Vote on the motion to adopt ordinance 2025-44. Owen?
Aye.
Oberdorf?
Aye.
Reynolds?
Aye.
Toth?
Aye.
Eckel?
Aye.
Tinney?
Aye.
Thank you. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.